What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 back here to do another video for you guys, and I have a special guest, Douglander.
Douglander, but now of course it's Douglas Connor, my name on YouTube.
So,
but yeah, we just went and saw You're Next.
Who's directed this? Do you have any idea?
I can't think of the guy's name right now. He's directed 2 segments from the VHS movies, and he also did one for ABCs of Death. But him, Ty West, and a lot of those guys, they're all like good friends and stuff.
If you've seen House of the Devil, The Innkeepers, those VHS movies, a lot of familiar faces are either in this movie or behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You also have, what's her name? I always get the, horror icon.
Oh, Barbara Crampton.
Barbara Crampton.
It was nice to see her in a movie.
Yeah, I'm a fan of hers. I love her from Beyond, Chopping Mall, Reanimator. Some other familiar faces that we don't know their names right now, but you might know who they are when you see the movie. There was definitely some that, when we were watching it, we're like,
I know him from
they're
something.
in something, yeah. So, but yeah, so You're Next. Why don't you give the plot of it?
The basic plot of the movie is this family's coming together for a family... more of like a reunion anniversary type thing for the parents. All the children and their partners and stuff are coming in, and they're meeting the parents, coming together just to see. And it's kind of awkward when they all come together because it's like some of them are like all happy to see each other, but then you can tell there's kind of like some rivaling between some of the brothers
Yeah.
just kind of some competition.
There's some tension there in some areas of the family.
Yeah, it's basic. That's the basic premise, and then on the night of the actual anniversary, these people dressed as like different animals,
like a werewolf, an owl, a fox.
Yeah, everything, and they basically just terrorize this family. They have a crossbow and a couple of axes, and I think some knives.
And one by one, the family's terrorized and picked off. And
one by one.
Die. So,
yeah. That's really the basic plot of the movie, really.
Without spoiling anything for you guys, because we don't want to do that just in case you haven't seen it. But I would say, check this movie out.
Yes.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Loved every
Loved
minute
it.
of
I loved everything. Well, do you want to go ahead and give our ratings?
Yeah, let's give the ratings and we'll talk about each thing. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I was really, really impressed with it. There was one little moment during the movie where I was like, is it going to be as good? Is it going to be as good as people are saying? Or is it going to be the opposite? But, it was true to the reviews, absolutely loved it. I laughed at times, because there's some fun moments, it's not all serious. And then I jumped at times. There's some really good suspenseful moments. So, yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. I loved it. I would say it's definitely my favorite horror movie of the year so far.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually going to... I rate things out of 4 stars, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of a 4. When I first saw the trailer a couple months ago, I was like, I want to see it. It's a horror movie. It looks fun. But I was just like, well, it looks just like, your standard home invasion movie.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
But I was completely surprised. It had some really neat kills. It was really gory.
Yeah, really gory.
The score was amazing. The lead girl, I can't think of her name, but she is... I know she was in Step Up 3, or she was in one of the Step Ups, and she is awesome.
She was
an amazing final girl. I mean, she fought back.
Yeah. I mean, she was tough and absolutely loved her. I heard from reviews, saying she brings a lot to the movie, and it's true. She really brings a lot to the film. I loved her. I loved the cast overall. Everybody had a purpose in this film. At first, you don't know some of the purpose for some of these family members, but as the movie goes along, they all have their own purpose. So, characters overall, I really enjoyed. It was great to see Barbara Crampton in another horror movie. If you're, a die-hard horror movie fan, you know who she is. Like I said, she was in Reanimator, Chopping Mall, from Beyond and some other films. You know, love her, and it was great to see her, like I said, in another horror movie.
Oh, it was nice to also see. Well, we knew Ty West was in the movie.
Ty West.
And it's funny. There's this moment where they're all sitting around. They're all asking, like, what do you do for a living? He looks at he looks at the guy and he's like, oh, I'm a filmmaker. And the guy, he didn't say he made a horror movie. He said he makes like a documentary or something. And I told Justin in the theater, I said it would have been funny had he's been like, oh yeah, I made this low budget horror movie about the devil.
Yeah.
Kind of a wink to House of the Devil, which would have been cool. But it was cool that they even said he was a filmmaker. So.
Oh yeah, and then you had some great gore, great practical kills throughout the movie.
Yeah, no CG.
No CG. God. I mean, I love that. Love the atmosphere. You had such a good fall atmosphere in this movie that, really... really makes me want fall to get here. The different leaves on the ground.
Well, it was nice that they filmed it in a really nice wooded area. Which we looked it up. It was filmed in Missouri.
Yeah.
And
close to where I lived in Missouri. So yeah, that was awesome. And then the house was great. You know, good little classic style to it. Great colors with the movie. The music, loved the music. Very catchy stuff.
I will say this movie does have some jump scares in it, which I know when people hear jump scares, they're like, oh, But these actually have some really good jump scares.
They're really...
it made me I give them credit for making kind of a newer type jump scare.
And at times you don't know when the jump scares are going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you would see things like there was a scene where you saw someone through the window and you'd see the animal face coming close and you're like, oh, we know what's going to happen. But then nothing really happened. And then something caught you off guard and I was like, oh, that's nice. Yeah,
and then there's another moment in the movie where you don't think anything's going to happen and then something does happen. And that happened quite a few times, and I'm not going to lie, I jumped. So, and I said some F-bombs and everything in the theater. So, I was very quiet about it, but it did happen.
Yeah, back to the lead girl. Our friend that's actually on YouTube, Big K Horror, our friend Kevin, he said in his review that the main girl goes all kind of Heather Langenkamp towards the end, like in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. She's setting up booby traps and... yeah, she is amazing.
She's awesome.
We can make our own video just on her.
I would love to meet her at a convention.
Yes.
So if you're watching this, which I don't know if you are, but you know who you are, I'd love to meet you at a convention. Yeah, she was awesome. She was definitely one of the best moments in this movie.
Agreed.
And, I mean, with this film...
But it had a good combination, of gore... Dark humor. I mean, it's not like a funny movie. When we say there's humor, it's not funny.
There's laugh. I laughed, but it wasn't comedy. It was dark humor. I would say, I know some people are comparing it to The Strangers and The Purge, and for me, they're all home invasion movies, but they all have different, reasons or reasonings. I feel The Strangers was just, that was probably more true to an,
if it was to actually maybe really happen or something.
Yeah, I mean, home invasion movies, home invasions, they all have their certain reasons. And with The Strangers, it was, about these three mysterious, people who...
Which that movie has no humor.
No humor. It's a very serious movie.
Yeah. And then in this... It's, you think when you see the trailer and you think going into the movie, you know exactly how this movie's going to play out because we've seen it before. Yeah. It's another home invasion movie. But this movie does have some really good twists and turns that, I didn't see them coming.
Yeah, I mean...
At all.
For me, I'd say this movie's a mix of a home invasion movie... Well, home invasion. But it's also a revenge flick. And there was times towards the end of the movie I thought of I Spit on Your Grave just because...
the brutality.
Yeah, and the lead girl just feels like Camille Keaton in the original. She's so tough and strong.
Fight back.
Yeah, I love that. And with The Purge, that's another home invasion movie. That has its own purpose. So they're all different in some ways, I wouldn't compare this to The Strangers, so if you have not seen this, don't go into it
don't compare it to The Strangers.
Like we said.
Or even The Purge. Because I know people on Facebook are saying that's a ripoff. This ripped off The Purge, but actually, this movie was made in 2011.
Exactly.
So this was way before The Purge.
Yeah. And then another thing I want to really quickly talk about is, and this is an awesome thing, is how you know, major critics are seeing this movie and they're praising it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I was sitting there in the theater and I was like kind of baffled because
Me too.
like top critics usually do not like violent slashers. But this movie it's officially certified fresh now. It's either a 79 or 80.
Yeah.
Last time we looked. And I mean, I was kind of sitting there in the theater and I was kind of surprised. I mean, it's a very well-made movie. I mean, maybe that's what they're looking at, but it was just a very gory slasher movie. I mean, it was a smart movie, so maybe that's what they're looking at.
Maybe that's what they were looking for, but I thought that was awesome. And I'm so happy that horror movies this year, you know, 2 of them, You're Next and The Conjuring, 2 that have gone to theaters, original horror movies that have gone to theaters.
And made lots, you know.
Yeah.
Well, The Conjuring's made over 200 million.
But these are movies that critics are loving, and they're giving it fresh reviews, you know, on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's fantastic. And I think, honestly, this is one of the best year for horror movies. I'm going to say it right now because I've had a lot of favorites come out, and
You're Next, Lords of Salem,
Maniac remake, Hatchet 3. What else? I love Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yep, love that.
That's a favorite of mine. So I think this is a great or an awesome year for horror movies, and it's awesome to see
some original stuff in there.
Some original horror movies being released in theaters. So I love that. But check out You're Next.
Yeah, I mean, definitely go see it. It's one to see in the theater.
I want to go see it again.
Just go into it, have fun with it.
Have a blast with it. Enjoy it, laugh. Don't take it like too serious. You know, just go in there, have a fun time, enjoy it, because I think horror movie fans will really, really enjoy this movie.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes movies can get overhyped when you hear people talk about how awesome it is, and I feel like this movie definitely lives up to all the hype. I really think it's a true, genuine horror movie that deserves all the praise. It really does. You know?
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Some movies, you know, come out, they get a lot of hype, and it's like, you know, it's not as good or it's bad. But this one lives up to all that hype, and definitely check it out.
We were totally satisfied leaving the theater.
I had so much fun. I wanted to see it again tonight.
Yes, I did too.
I mean, like I said, 5 out of 5 for me.
4 out of 4
loved
for me.
it. Check it out. You're Next. One of, well, my favorite horror movie of the year. How would you...
I've been kind of debating that because I love, right now, I mean, my 2 favorite horror movies I've seen this year, my top 2, The Lords of Salem, when I saw it, I was like, amazing.
That movie.
Like, it's Rob Zombie's, in my opinion, his best movie. And I would probably say You're Next is probably right there. I mean, those are, I'll go ahead and say it. My 2 favorite horror movies of the year right now are You're Next and The Lords of Salem. Which one, it's like 50-50 right now, so I don't know which one I like best yet.
They're different. I mean, they're both different horror movies.
True.
But if I have a top 5 already, it would be You're Next, Lords of Salem, The Conjuring, Maniac, and then Hatchet 3.
Yep.
So, but yeah, guys, we are going to go. Definitely check out You're Next. You know, such a fun movie, and I think every horror movie fan would enjoy this.
Yeah, I would agree.
But hope you're all doing well. As always, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. In with the positive, out with the negative.
And go eat some Skittles.
Go eat some Skittles.
And go see You're Next.
And go see You're Next, because you're next!